Are we recording?
That's what you want, condescending old men. That's what you should call the show, condescending old men. You know,
it could be
it could be like grumpy old punk rockers.
I feel like Billy Duffy did a podcast recently with some guys they're from London. They have their
did he do the Lars Ulrich one with Budgie, or did he do the one with Gary Kemp?
Gary Kemp, I think.
Did he do that one?
Yeah, that's sort of like
Raconteurs?
Yeah, the Raconteurs. That's sort of like that, right? Grumpy old man.
I don't know. I've not listened to it, and I really like Guy Pratt and Gary Kemp. I saw them with Saucer Full of Secrets.
Yeah.
So the original drummer, Pink Floyd, Nick Mason, the only drummer, put together like a Floyd band, and they're playing everything pre-Dark Side. And you forget how progressive they were.
Oh, yeah.
Like staggering.
So good.
They were so good. It was staggering.
They might be your favorite band. Like early Floyd,
that's a good
right?
guess, actually. That's really interesting because it kind of floats around. Depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, there's Bowie. There's a lot we can get
Bowie's
into.
not really a band. There's more of like he's a constellation, isn't he? He's not. I mean,
I guess I need to introduce this episode.
What's that?
I'm saying, welcoming my friend, the legendary Ian Astbury.
Scott Lips.
Either way, how are you? I was just saying
we're like burnout somewhere in Hollywood. What's left of Hollywood?
This is how we catch up, because this is how I see my friends now, like on a podcast, which is crazy. But we are. I wore the shirt today in honor. I know that you always.
Yeah.
You know, we lost David Johansen not that long ago. We're losing a lot of legends. Were you like a big Sabbath fan?
Sabbath?
Yeah.
I think Sabbath was just part of everybody's lives. They were just always there, you know?
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Volume 4. Like obsessed with it.
Amazing.
Everything. Every time I saw it, I'd buy it. Vinyl. I had vinyl from all over the place. 8-track, cassette. Just over the years. And I amalgamated like maybe 30 pieces of Volume 4.
Wow.
Because Snowblind is staggering.
Amazing.
I mean, the break in that, the break beat, the cadence of it, where everything's placed, it's perfect. It's like perfect hip hop track.
I was a bit worried when I saw Bill Ward because he hasn't played in like 10 or 12 years. So, you know.
With his shirt off, he ripped it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like worried that it wasn't. It was
they ripped it up.
Yeah.
They were like arguably head and shoulders above everybody else that walked on that stage that day.
So crazy though that he got to have that incredible send off. He probably knew like what was going on, because the timing was.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to assume, but it's family, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, can you imagine being in that position where you've had that life and you know you've maybe made the choice that's that.
Yeah.
That you're good. Like, I'm good. Check.
Yeah.
Check, please.
It's
and then you're out.
It is tough though when we're losing.
I did it right. And I mean, I've spent some intimate time with John. You know, beautiful guy.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Just tough
Really
how we're
lovely.
losing all the legends, you know?
Bit of a wild man, but back in the day. We met him back in the day, and we went to see him, Billy and I went to see him in 86, and we met Lars Ulrich that night. And after the show, it was at Hammersmith Apollo, I think. Yeah, it was Hammersmith Apollo. We jumped in a gypsy cab, like London gypsy cab. You always get these guys going, you know, not the proper black cabs. And we're going to go to a club. So Lars came with us, and he had a jug of vodka, and he had a cassette of Master of Puppets. He said, "You want to hear the new album?" Because it wasn't out.
Yeah. And
he stuck it in this guy, the cassette player, and so we listened to that on the way to the club, Master of Puppets.
What'd you think?
Oh, it was shock.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? This is staggering.
That early Cliff Burton stuff was raw too, and then it got super
Cliff was
produced.
Great. I think Cliff was, I'm probably going to get corrected by some Metallica devotees, but he was into the cult and got, I think, Lars into the band, and that's how come we opened for them.
Incredible. So many great
These
stories.
Yeah, I know, but the great stories, that and a quarter will get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Do you think about, it's almost a weird question, but do you think about your own mortality when like all these legends around us, like, do you think about that ever? I know it's like kind of.
Sometimes it's like shots fired. You mean you feel it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got, your life is full. You got children. Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing at our age. Like I start to hear friends of mine that
our
are
age,
perfectly.
you're about a decade younger than me.
Well, I'm kind of grouping us in, but you hear friends like some guy that I just knew, like my age, just died out of the blue, and like he's not even sick, and that kind of stuff freaks me out. When it's like and it didn't happen when I was 30. That never happened. I mean, unless it was like
I saw a Tibetan Rinpoche, enlightened teacher, Sogyal Rinpoche. I saw him in Kathmandu. He was talking about death. He says, why is everybody worried about death? He said, I guarantee you're going to do this perfectly. You will do you will do, it's probably like the best thing it'll be your finest moment. You'll do this, don't worry about it. When it happens, you'll do it perfectly. You'll get full marks. He said, the living part, this is
not so easy.
We got to talk about the living part.
Yeah.
So that was from Tibetan perspective.
I worry about it because I like living.
It's like reverse engineering. You know that you only have a finite amount of time. You don't know when that time's going to stop in this vehicle, in this incarnation. So what do you do with your time?
The younger you get, do you still enjoy the touring, or is it? I know it's hard on the body. On the body, it's tough, right?
Touring's necessary evil. It's more like the ritual space performing, right?
Yeah.
So you got to go through the grind to get to the space to do the thing. It's the lifestyle can be challenging.
Yeah.
Like you just did a 19-hour bus ride from Brussels to Barcelona. But, not in and of itself, that's like bearable. But when you stack it up.
Yeah. You get no sleep. I saw the show in New
York.
The
lack of sleep is tough. Yeah. Because you get so amped after shows. Sometimes you're out of, you do a show, do a couple of shows, and then you're at an airport at 6 a.m.
It's crazy. I saw the show Pier 17. It was incredible. You remember that show?
Oh, the Cole.
Yeah.
I got COVID at that show.
That you didn't tell me.
I didn't know until the next day. I was in Syracuse and I was sick.
Well,
so I had to blow the show out there.
You would not know the show that I saw
no, I wasn't sick then. I didn't feel sick.
Literally the next day.
The next day, in the evening, I started to feel a bit off, and then so we blew out the next. I followed the protocols, 48 hours,
and then you resumed playing like 2 days later.
Yeah, I made sure I was like quarantined, like locked in my bunk.
Yeah. I was also at that Jane's Addiction show at the same venue the night before the infamous fight, and they were incredible. Like
did they play? Did they have the little to do at
the next day in Boston? But that was the second to last show they ever did, and I was like, wow, because the night before apparently
they'll be back together again. They'll work it out.
I don't think so. And the night before was like horrendous, and my friends were like, "Don't come."
Did you go?
I went. I didn't go to the horrendous night. I went to the night that was on fire, and then the next night is when everything. But it was at Pier 17. So, man, that was the first band I ever opened up for in LA in 1987 at the Park Plaza Hotel. And then I said to myself, I don't know what's going on in LA, but I need to move here because it was like crazy.
Then when did you leave?
I just was a kid. I think I was like 17. It was Gene Love Jezebel, my band, and Jane's Addiction. And I was like, LA's on fire. Like I was from Long Island.
Still is.
We didn't have that going on Long Island.
LA's still going on. There's a lot going on in LA. A lot of gallery spaces, a lot of immersive stuff going on, events, pop-up. So much esoteria in LA. I think that's why I stay here.
You still like living here?
It's the longest I've ever lived anywhere in my life.
Yeah, because we talk about New York a lot, and we're going to talk about
New
New
York. I mean, I've spent so much time my life in New York, and I grew up in Southern Ontario, so kind of New York State was the closest state, American state to where I grew up.
You grew up near Liverpool.
I was born near Liverpool, but I actually went to Glasgow within about 6 weeks of being born. So I'm mostly Scots, Irish, Welsh.
And you moved around a lot.
Moved around a lot as a kid, yeah.
And it's tough because I think your parents experienced like the bombing of World War II.
My father experienced it probably. My mother would have experienced a little bit, but my dad definitely went through being a war refugee, being bombed out of his home, and then being as a refugee, they sent all these kids to Wales to farms. No water, No electricity, no running water, no telephones.
Wow.
Didn't see his parents for like a year and a half. So they were refugee kids. I think once you go through an experience like that, you can't assimilate into a normal life.
Yeah.
Right? That stays with you.
Were they playing music in the household a lot?
When they were older, yeah. I mean, not then.
Not then, obviously.
Not
Not then,
then.
but when they got
probably
older.
radio, he'd probably go out to radio. My father traveled. He was in the Merchant Navy, so he used to bring records back from all over the world. So we had pretty diverse music in our house.
What were those
Things
records?
Like Paul Robeson, American, really deep voice. Paul Robeson, American gospel singer.
Little Richard?
They like rock and roll, yeah. Definitely. The Beatles was just...
if you grew up near Liverpool, it was all about the Beatles.
I had a lot of aunts, so all my teenage aunts were into the Beatles and the Stones.
Yeah.
But the Beatles were huge because they were local, and I grew up with that.
People always ask that question: are you a Beatles guy or a Stones guy? I'm kind of both.
Come on.
I'm both.
You can definitely be
because the '70s Stones. There was no one cooler than the '70s Stones.
I don't know. It's just different moments, different subjective moments, right? If you lived through it and you saw it as one thing, in hindsight, you could probably look at some other things, like bands that maybe got overlooked until late, like Television, or the Dolls.
You never saw the Dolls.
No, I saw them on TV when I was a kid, and I remember seeing Dolls on, like, it was either Don Krishna's rock concert or Midnight. Was it Midnight Special?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember seeing the Dolls like about 74.
How incredible was Johnny Thunders?
Little tiny kid. Yeah. Staggering. McLaren was managing them, I think, wasn't he? Malcom McLaren.
Yeah, I think so. I feel
when he put them in the red patent leather.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit later on, but that was one of the last things they did.
And you got to know Malcolm pretty well?
No.
You never met him?
I met him once. He was in New York. I was living in New York and just did a collaboration with Supreme. And I saw him walking down the street, like uptown, Malcolm McLaren. And there he was with his, sweat around his shoulders and walking down the streets, Malcolm McLaren. It's like.
And did you go up to him?
Yeah.
And you said, I'm Ian, and he said, I'm Malcolm.
No, I just went up to him and said, a huge respect for you. And thank you for everything you've done. And whatever. I mean, I was probably flailing fanboy, but it's Malcolm McLaren, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
But he didn't get the credit I think now we can look back at Malcolm McLaren's influence on culture.
And fashion, obviously, huge.
Fashion, huge.
Yeah.
It definitely had whatever that is that some people are born with, just that savance, right? Just the knowing. How do you get that? I don't know. Like Bowie had that.
Yeah.
I think you get it by exploring. You try different things. You make big mistakes. You try different things. I mean, he was up with Africa Bambaataa in the early 80s. Yeah. He was really big, really important in terms of bringing hip hop into the mainstream.
Sometimes people don't get that respect that they're due until they pass away, unfortunately. So
I think they're not looking for it. That's one thing. They're busy doing whatever it is that they're passionate about. They're not looking for the camera. They're not looking for the like. They're not looking for the it's me, right? They're not looking for the trophies.
And you didn't see the Pistols until like 10 years later, right?
I never saw the Pistols. I didn't see the Pistols until the 90s.
When they could play their instruments.
See, I was in Canada at the time when they kind of came up. By the time that they split up, I never got to see them. Billy saw them. I never saw them. Saw the Clash early on. But
amazing. I mean, you got to open for the Clash.
Go for the Clash.
How was that?
Combat Rock Tour. I went for the Clash. It was...
amazing.
Just in shock. Yeah. It's crazy. We went, Cosmo Vinyl invited us in the dressing room after we did our set, Southern Death Cult. And he said, help yourself to some beer and sandwiches, whatever they had. So we're drinking their beer. And Mick Jones walked in. He's like, what are these kids doing in here? Get them out of here. Just kicking us out. And Joe Strummer's like, no, they can stay. They're all right.
They're cool.
They're cool. They're fine. They can stay. And then they invited us to play in Brixton because we opened for them in Stoke. So we went down to Brixton. We had rented a van. We had a driver who was a hippie dude, like long hair, army jacket, Neil, like from the Young Ones. And
I love that show.
I think it was like one of those scenes from, like from the Joy Division film where you got one sleeping bag between four of you.
Yeah.
It was one of those deals, and we pulled up in like a Sherpa van, and we went to the gig, and they said, look, there's already too many bands on the bill, because the Clash had this habit of being a real communal band, and they would always invite local punk bands to play with them, like last minute.
Yeah.
Do you want to play with us? You want to jump up? So we got that. They asked us to come down and play with them. Said the bill was full, so we couldn't play, but we had all our gear in the van. We just left it in the van, went in, saw the show, came out, and everything was gone.
I mean, that's so typical if you leave
Brixton. It's Brixton, right?
Right.
So everything got nicked. I mean, everything was gone.
Wow.
I remember like seeing I had a like plastic bag with whatever gear I was going to wear on stage, like change of t-shirt, pair of moccasins,
God.
like throwing down the street.
Oh my God.
They'd been through all my stuff. I mean, I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we had anything, but it took all our amps and everything.
Well, it's crazy.
And then it got photographed for ID magazine that night, like
Wow.
issue 6,
Amazing.
whatever, when ID was just starting out.
Talking about those early days, Ian, because obviously Death, Cult has been revived, and it's really interesting to me because we never really got into a deep dive about Southern Death Cult and obviously the Death Cult. We spoke so much about the Cult, which we will talk about too, but those early days and how the Southern Death Cult formed are always so fascinating to me because you revived Death Cult and now you're touring Death Cult and the Cult.
Yeah.
So talk about those early days because it's fascinating, like cover of NME, and then things got so chaotic. And then
It was instantaneous. With some Death Cult was like instantaneous. It happened so quickly. We had 6 songs. I think we had 3 songs, and we did a TV show. It was like a documentary on youth cultures, unemployed youth cultures. It was the first thing we did. It was like this arranged gig where they had a few punk bands in this pub. And the drummer's brother, Aki's brother, Rob, knew about the local TV station were looking for bands to be on this TV show and then interview you. So they said, do you want to be on this show? We were rehearsing above a reggae shop. We had like 3 songs.
How long have you been together at that point?
Like 6 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say a month or something.
Nothing, right? So we said, yeah, but we didn't even have a name. They're like, what's the name of the band? I said, we can't really, it's a bit of a secret. But I found it in the book. I found it in the book on Indigenous studies. Southern Death Cult was the name that referred to Hopewell Valley in Ohio. There's these serpent mounds. I don't know if you know about these serpent mounds. American people should know about their archaeological sites.
Yeah.
And this serpent mound that was there, and the tribes around the area were referred to as Southern Death Cult. They used to build these big burial mounds. I thought the name sounded really cool and sort of reflected the zeitgeist of the early 80s of the time. And the name just popped out. That was it. That became the name of the band. And we rolled with that. And you don't think about this when you're doing it, right? You don't. I didn't have that kind of objectivity.
How old were you again at that point?
Like 19.
19.
Just a kid, so.
You're in a documentary after 6 weeks of being in this band.
No, it was like, 6 weeks, and we're doing this documentary, and got a film crew, camera crew following us around. And remember we did a sit down. They can't, I don't even know where the footage is, whether they've got it in a vault somewhere.
I feel like it's somewhere because everything
Maybe.
is, yeah.
But back in the day, they used to just tape over whatever.
And you also didn't film everything back in the day. So like.
No, they used to go over the tapes that they had. If they were recording on tape.
It'd be great to find it.
It'd be amazing to find it. I'd love to see it.
When you look back on, because you did a couple early appearances at Death Cult on TV, and like when you look back on some of those appearances,
Well, Southern Death Cult did as well. I mean, we did the Tube, and actually Malcom McLaren was the guest on that show. And
wow.
He, Paul Yates was the hostess of the show, and Jules Holland, and Malcom McLaren was on that show. So Southern Death Cult's playing.
You had the Mohawk.
And Paul, the Mohawk, and like Huron influenced haircut, and which is pretty much what it is right now. You can't see it because I've got my bandana's on, patented bandana. In
a way, you've always been ahead of the curve, though, even back then, right? Because now you're reviving this band after it's like 42
It's not really
years.
a revival. It's more like 0 point. If you want to get quantum about it.
Yeah.
I mean, time is a construct. It's not linear. I don't want to get too obtuse, but it's quantum. I mean, to me, it feels like 0 point. We're back at 0 point.
Restarting, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a 0 point. Just feels like we've gone round this entire cycle And Death Cult, the DNA of Death Cult felt so much more relevant in this moment. Like in 2023, we started talking about Death Cult. It just felt there's so many parallels between the origin of Death Cult and what was going on geopolitically, spiritually, whatever.
What made you want to bring it back or restart it?
Just that thing, it just came up.
Yeah.
Maybe just like observing what's happening in the culture. This kind of wave of gothic futurism, let's call it. You know, an interest in dark wave, like the rise of, I mean, you can attribute it to dark wave electronic, the resurgence of what some would call gothic music. You know, like everyone's wearing black, everyone's blacked out. Bauhaus are back on tour again. Rick Owens is burning it down.
Yeah.
Andy Mulamista, a lot of in fashion, you know, post-punk. Post-punk never really didn't burn itself out. It just kind of was always an outlier.
It's interesting. There was an article today in Billboard that said like punk has found its groove again. It's back. I'm like, it never went away.
That? Who wrote that?
It was in Billboard today. I read it.
Yeah, in Billboard. Was it? Who wrote that?
It didn't go away. It just, you know, I mean, because they're looking at bands like Turnstile, thinking like it's having a moment, but it, you know, it always has moments and then it goes away and then
it's
it comes
an easy
back.
entry point. If you can learn 3 chords, you can write a song.
Yeah.
So, you know, if that's punk, then I always assumed. I remember like John Lydon talking about the transition from Pistols into Public Image, the idea of like not stopping, of constantly evolving. That's what really stuck with me about the whole DIY nature of punk. It's about evolving, like work with what you got. Like McLaren was like that.
Yeah.
He was a Renaissance guy. If whatever he was discovering, he incorporated to his oeuvre, right? So when he put together like hip hop and opera music, like on Fans, that was incredible.
What is this?
Do you remember the record Fans?
I don't, but people I'm sure were like, this is just...
No, it was staggering.
Yeah.
It was staggering to put 2 things together.
He was always
he did
innovating.
Madam Butterfly.
Yeah.
And the video clip and everything, the ballerinas in the sauna. It's staggering as a piece of art.
Who else is innovating for you today? I mean, I know you're... Oh,
now?
you turned me on to Ethel Cain. And
I'm getting older. I don't know, you be self-mentoring when you get to a certain age. I think you just become... People say, who inspires you now? You go, myself when I wake up. It's inspiring. It's still standing.
Well, I had, because you told me about Idols a while ago. I had them on the show. And you were the first one to tell me about them. And then you first one to tell me about Ethel Cain. You know, you're always like, Patriarchy is a band I think you're taking on tour now.
Patriarchy.
So you're always like on the cutting edge of what's going on. In fact, the Cult was never, you can never like put you guys in a box because you were always like too goth for, you know, or too, whatever it was. Like it never fit in a box, right?
Too goth for goth, too punk for punk, whatever it was. I don't know. It's just the way it went down.
Yeah.
Get bored quickly. Just get bored quickly. You know, we've done now. Let's do something else.
So who are those bands now that you're like, this is the next one?
This week? I don't know.
Well, because everyone you told me about is blown up.
There's one being born every second.
Yeah.
Julie Band.
Julie Band?
Go on.
Okay. I don't know Julie Band, but
you will.
I will. You're sort of like a
Deaf
fortune
Heaven
teller.
just made an incredible album.
Yeah. Deaf Heaven's cool.
German techno, the whole country, Germany, everything they do right now in techno, dark wave, Scandinavia, Drain Gang. I like UFO 361 from German. I wouldn't say we're trap, say like more avant artist. I like the time we're in now is you can do anything you want.
Right.
You can do anything. It doesn't matter. And you don't have to stay in a lane. Like this idea of punk just being like a singular lane. And there's certain rules and regulations in punk. There's no rules.
You think in a way, because obviously as soon as the band started really...
post-genre now. You do whatever you want.
As soon as the Cult really started, you know, doing so well, the labels get involved. And then they're like, well, write a song like this and let's bring in an outside writer and this producer. But you never...
It's much more nefarious than that. And that's when the trouble started for us. Because we're like, who's the man behind the curtain? You know, because you're getting all this commercial success. You're on cover of magazines.
Yeah.
You're touring the world.
They just see dollar
You're selling
signs.
out venues. and you're beginning to become a commodity.
Right.
And then you realize it's part of something much greater than that. It wasn't, you're in the marketplace now. You're a commodity, you're an object, right? So started working that out and realizing that format, or at least the format at the time was MTV video. So
3 minutes.
Artists were writing for those formats. The artists were getting recognized, were writing for those formats. That didn't mean that they were the only things happening on the planet.
Of course.
Because there was so much going on that wasn't a part of the mainstream MTV moment. And once I started looking at it and seeing, wow, there's all these guys in the room telling us what to do and how to dress and what to say, what not to say. You shouldn't do this, you should do this. Then I start to ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you can
ask
tell
too many
Ian.
questions.
Right.
Ask too many questions and then you get in trouble.
And the A&R guy comes in and says, hey, what do you think about this as a single? Not to Ian. I mean, that's not something that you do.
No, they did. They used to float around. You see the A&R guy come in and say, well, I think that the guitar should be like louder and you guys, should maybe try this line and shouldn't say that word here or whatever.
And you fought back immediately because it's just not part of who you are, right?
They got
yeah. Do you think that hurt you as a band in any way, or do you think
I think it became a problem for us because it became quite confusing. You're trying to go by your own compass, right? Your own kind of intuition. And when you've got two very strong principles, like Billy and myself, we're picking up on different frequencies. So he's got his experience, I got my experience. And I'm looking at certain things, Billy's looking at certain things. And then you've got this wedge of, the band is getting so big that it's bigger than both of us. The songs are huge. They have their own lives. People have a personal relationship with you as an object. The band as a thing.
You become a commodity versus
you become a commodity, so they have their relationship with it. And then you have your relationship with it, which is completely different.
Yeah.
And then it starts to, start getting thrown around a bit, So.
And that's when tension starts.
That's when really the tension starts.
Yeah. Although tension makes for the best music sometimes.
I would say
in the case of your band, because were you guys getting along really well around the Electric record? We were talking about. I was listening to what you did with Rick the other day, and just phenomenal to reconnect with him. I would imagine, right?
With Rick, it was very emotional reconnecting with Rick because we were very, very close.
How long has it been since you've sat with him or seen him?
With Rick? I spoke to him on the phone once, I think in maybe 20 years.
Wow. Had you not wanted it? It just grew apart?
Life. Yeah. I mean, Rick, his career exploded.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it a career. He's more of a, he's definitely a savant. He knows the interior experience of creativity very, very well. He's the right guy that you want sitting in a room saying nothing.
But it's fascinating because this is pre-internet when you sought him out. And like the fact that you found him, again, just being on the cutting edge of all these, just knowing what's going on before it was like mainstream by any means.
That's because the DJ was playing it in the club.
Literally,
it was Beastie Boys, it was Cookie Puss, which I don't think he was involved in.
So you go to...
But he was associated with them.
Yeah, but you go to... What club is it that you go to and hear?
No, it was in Canada. It was in Toronto. It was a club in Toronto. It was a DJ called Chris Shepherd, who was pretty famous underground DJ. And we went out to a club and he just happened to be DJing that night. And he played Cookie Puss and I heard it and I was like, what is this? I went to DJ and asked him and said, please tell me everything about this record. And he told me it's Cookie Puss, Beastie Boys, da-da-da-da. And then I did my research, which was usually... music papers.
I was going to say, how'd you do your
Sounds,
research?
music, melody maker.
Because maybe they weren't in the
phone
papers.
Call.
Yeah,
maybe like some kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, how did you do the research back then? There was no way to really research. I mean, you could
we did have a label at that point, like Sire. We were with Sire Records and Seymour Stein. And so we did have a connects with New York. So they tracked Rick down. I think he was still in his NYU dorm room. But I
love that story because I think we spoke about it last time.
He was new in town. Yeah, I mean, that was the experience. That's what went down.
You just like show up at his dorm room.
We didn't show up. It was prearranged, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's like amazing.
You just roll in. It's like,
right.
There was some...
But he wasn't really Rick Rubin at that point either.
He was. He was Rick Rubin.
But just starting. He was just...
Yeah, but Rick was like, it was long hair Rick, like Rick Cool Rick. And then was Rick and George and And then there was Mr. Rick who made the videos, and then there was the whole Def Jam family. And
George is so talented.
George is incredible.
Yeah.
It was just like, we were just kids. We were just passionate about, nobody was thinking about how can we blow this up, or how do we get on the camera? You know, how do we get the likes? It wasn't about that.
Yeah.
It's like, how can we make this dope? That was pretty much it. Like, what have we got to do to make it the best it can possibly be? And that's what we're really interested in. So we were studying a generation that came way before us, like real musicians.
Yeah.
Like, how did they do it? They practiced. They got in a room, they practiced, and they got to a certain level. And then some of them were like more dilettante, like Iggy Pop, for example, right? Just like roll in. I mean, Bowie, very famous for like 3 takes, done.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you're getting. Same with Jim, with Iggy. Just naturally gifted.
But in a way, I don't think Rick loved the sound that was coming out of London at that time. He kind of like looked down on it from it. Would that be fair to say? Because he wanted to bring you guys back to, you know.
I grew up in North America, so I culturally had a lot more in common with him. I could speak his language, so to speak. Whereas the Brits at the time, the ones that stayed domestically in the UK, had this different perspective, different lens maybe on what was happening in America and New York, and unless they'd actually been there. Because we were getting it secondhand through like The Clash or McLaren or whomever, you know, Bowie. You're getting America through their lens, through like Stones or whatever. But I was in North America anyway. So I think we had a lot in common culturally. And the kind of music that Rick was really into was way stripped back. And that's what, I mean, when you listen to Cookie Puss, it's totally stripped back. And I thought that sound would be really good for us.
Well, Back in Black.
Yeah, I mean, he was listening to that more than we were. I wasn't really listening to Back in Black. I was listening to things like The Birthday Party and, you know, like early Floyd and, you know, black
Sid
music,
Barrett
black
and
music
stuff like,
and things like Serge Gainsbourg and bits of Can and whatever.
Yeah.
I was all over the place. Just love music. I was going to see, I remember going to see like Chuck Berry around about that time, going to see John Lee Hooker and trying to find the source. You know, those musicians that were still playing live out. Like Chuck Berry was playing.
Amazing.
Unbelievable. That's like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, actually seeing him, and now I'm thinking about it, going like, oh, what? Got to see that.
But your first concert was Pink Floyd? Right?
First concert I went to, I could say, was my first concert was Pink Floyd in Hamilton, Ontario, June 28th.
Was it Sid Barrett?
1975.
No?
He was gone by then.
Gone.
He wasn't. I don't think he'd passed, but I think he was definitely left the band. No, they were doing Wish You Were Here before. And Pink Floyd used to rehearse the songs live. They'd improvise. And then when they kind of got it cooking, then they go and record it, which is a brilliant way to do it.
Well, you can test out the songs, see if they're working.
They did it in front of 50,000 people.
That's amazing. How differently, things were so different back then, right? I mean, it's just compared to the way people create music now. Just, no one does that.
You had to work with the environment you were given, so you just, out of necessity, you just did with whatever you had available to you.
I did a deep dive into Electric, one of my favorite albums. I always ask people like a perfect record, and for me, that's a perfect record. Like meaning which people are like, what do you mean by that? I mean, you put it on when people used to have turntables, and of course you can turn it once, but it's just from start to finish, every song.
Do you still play vinyl?
I do. I bought a record player not long ago because I love the concept of vinyl, and I feel you're missing so much when you don't listen to a record the way it was intended to be listened to. And I listened to that record. I just took a deep dive again, and it's like, I don't know how you feel about Electric when you listen to it now.
I don't.
But, well, okay, I know you don't put it on at your house and you don't have a party with Electric, but...
I don't listen to my own music at home.
No, I know, but I just mean like when you play, because every song on that record is just fantastic. And talking about the process, I mean, you initially started working on that record without Rick.
Yeah, it was originally started with Steve Brown.
Yeah.
And who produced the Love album. And of course, Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And that was 85, so it's a while ago. Same year as Live Aid. Wow.
And when you start working on it with Steve Brown, obviously it was more lush, right? Kind of like
it was
the
more
record
lush, and we
before.
had like there was more money being invested
Yeah.
into it then in terms of production values. Mark Stent, Spike Stent, pretty famous producer, engineer. He worked on the Love album. I think he was involved in. It felt like Love Part 2. We weren't quite sure what we were doing, and there was all this new equipment out, all this digital outboard gear that seemed like every producer was using everything. If it was available, just throw it on a track.
Just to make it
Rick,
more
that
lush.
wasn't Rick's philosophy. It was much more about primal.
Well, it was the opposite.
It was about the performance.
Yeah.
You know, because we were like at shows, we were in the audience, and then you're on stage. And that experience of just plugging in and playing felt so much more intimate than creating like this soundscapey, which is where it was kind of drifting into. And we used to work in shifts. Billy would work day shift, I'd work night shift. Because I didn't get up to like 4 or 5.
Now you get up a lot earlier.
Oh, now
I'm texting you at like 7:30 in the morning.
Now I'm up way early.
I'm like, Ian, yep.
I'm usually up till midnight and then up probably about 6-ish.
But when you start working with Steve, I mean, at what point did you know it wasn't really working for you?
I think we're starting to get really swampy sounding, just like really layered and dense, and I couldn't work out. I couldn't find, I couldn't get a beat on it. Felt like there was a lot of paint on the canvas, shall we say. We needed to reduce it, redux, like reduce, redo the record. So the idea was to get Rick to remix the record.
Initially.
Yeah. So the idea was Rick was going to remix it, and we gave him the caveat of like doing 1 or 2 new songs. So he got Electric Lady, and of course, it's just a band. We're just over in New York. We're staying at Gramercy Park, which was a dive back then.
Yeah.
That was a dive, that hotel.
The Rose Bar.
No, way before the Rose Bar.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
It was like no-go.
Because you and I, we did with our buddy that we always talk about in there, but we did a show there years ago.
The mayor of New York.
Yes, we did a show there.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was a dope spot. That was a great spot.
Those are the best New York City days of all time.
But that was like, we're supposed to be remixing. We didn't remix. We started re-recording it. Because what was coming off the floor, Andy Wallace, the engineer, was getting these dope sounds, and it just sounded incredible what was coming out of the speakers. And it was so raw. And Rick just encouraged us to start re-recording the record on the spot.
I've never heard the initial Steve Brown recordings.
I know they're out there, the Manor Sessions, they exist.
Maybe I did.
They were released, Beggars Bank would put them out.
Okay.
The Manor Sessions. But I don't live life I don't go back on the stuff unless I have to.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why would you just put on your record?
Like if we're going to do a song that I haven't done for a while, I'll go listen to it.
Yeah.
We always change the arrangements anyway.
But initially, so he gets involved and starts working with you, and did you think it was working really well after 2 songs, and you decided let's...
Oh, we just knew.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as you walked into Electric Lady, and they were just sitting there, what was coming out of the speakers straight away? The snare sound, guitars, I mean, just knew it was on. There's a magic. It was like 8th Street, New York. And New York was popping at that time.
Yeah, what was it like back then for you?
Oh, it was crazy. New York was a big playground. It was dangerous. But when you're kind of that young, danger's attractive. You go look for danger. You don't run away from it. You go into it.
St. Mark's wasn't like,
Oh no, St. Mark's was dodgy, so dodgy.
Yeah, I mean, it's still.
Billy Idol got arrested in Washington Square Park then.
Amazing.
Yeah, waiting for the man. Yeah, you couldn't go to Washington Square Park. You get mugged. The Baskin Robbins was down a block down the street. They got held up. I think there was some guy got shot around the corner from the studio. I just walked in the studio and somebody ran and said somebody's been shot in 6th Avenue.
I mean, it feels pretty safe to me now, but now that I moved back there, there's still like somebody was set on fire in the subway not long ago. I mean, there's still shit that goes on there.
That goes on everywhere.
But I mean, it feels, it has its moments, and I'm like, man, it's still, I mean, Times Square clearly is not what it used to be, because that was just
it's probably going to change again.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's evolving.
Do you miss it? Do you miss that energy?
Sure.
Do you think you'd ever live there again?
maybe in a different life.
Because with the family, it's
what I'm
hard
plugged into now, it's all in a concentrated area in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like dojo I train at, where I live, the different esoteric. There's a Tibetan Buddhist temple around the corner from my house. There's a Vedanta just down the street, not far from here. It's one of the oldest ashrams in, I think it's the oldest ashram in America. And it's a special place from 1920s. Christopher Isherwood used to go there. Christopher Isherwood wrote I Am a Camera, which became Cabaret, which was a huge influence on Bowie. So when Bowie played here on the station tour, he met Christopher Isherwood. And Christopher Isherwood told him all about Berlin in the 1930s, late 20s, Weimar, Germany, how decadent it was. And next thing you know, Bowie's in Berlin. And this guy was also hung out with Aldous Huxley, wrote Doors of Perception. He translated the Bhagavad Gita into English. So it was ahead. Yeah. Christopher Isherwood was ahead. It was really interesting. A lot of those individuals came to this area because they get left alone. You know, they weren't as stigmatized, and they could have a much freer lifestyle, shall we say. It was much more diverse.
You had a relationship with Bowie?
Well, in the sense that I was acquainted with David. I wouldn't say I knew him intimately, but we did have some intimate conversations.
I think I told you I managed his wife, Aman, for 15 years. And I always thought, like I said, I'd be over the house for dinner. And I never got the invite. Like every time I would see her, I was like, maybe today's the day that I'm going to go over the house. I only met her once with her, and I don't think I got more than
he was incredibly generous and truly present.
I didn't get more than like 30 seconds with him when I met him. So I wish I would have. That's was like
enough.
Well, I did. I think it was hello.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, but I wanted more of a
hello from David's.
My whole wall was Ziggy Stardust by Mick Rock. You know,
I got friends that spent loads of time with him.
Yeah,
everybody just said pretty grounded, down to earth guy, very inquisitive, quite generous.
When you had those interactions with him, was it surreal to you still? Just the fact?
Yeah, well, the first time was really surreal. Of course.
But what was that first time like?
We played in Paris. We opened for him in Paris on Glass Spiders tour, which a lot of people hate on the Glass Spiders tour, and I thought it was staggering.
Yeah, incredible.
And then you look at the set design, and you actually look at some of the footage from those shows. They were incredible. They were staggering. Don't get too carried away there, Scott.
I just feel like I'm a little thirsty, so I don't know. But I always loved the Nine Inch Nails.
Lip service is brought to you by Magic Mind Original.
I do like it because if for some reason I'm just feeling, if I'm a little. With you, I have to be sharp. Help sharpen my brain. I need that, Mental health is
the
something
ashwagandha is one of the ingredients.
Yeah. Mental health with you, I have to challenge myself. So I feel like I need it. Because, you're reading more than anyone I know in the world. But it is true. You're more into art and culture than almost anyone I know.
Visual arts now is where I get a lot of information from.
Yeah. Who are you into now? What's rocking Ian's world?
I just got this book that just came out. It's like lost interviews and some lost interviews with Francis Bacon, which are fascinating. I love Francis Bacon. Yeah. His process, the way he talks about his creative process, the way he talks about the accident, the things he got to through accidents in his work. And I'm obsessed. I love Francis Bacon, worship Francis Bacon.
What about new artists?
New artists, Anna Imhoff.
Okay.
I like immensely. She's much more of she does work in different mediums. She did something recently at the Armory in New York called Doom, more performance piece. She did a collaboration with Monkey from Korn, did the music. But she works with the choreography, different mediums, sculpture. I love Matthew Barney as well.
Great artist.
I think Matthew Barney is incredible. Secondary is staggering. Redoubt is staggering.
That's really where you get the bulk of your inspiration now.
Costas Arametis is an artist I admire greatly. He's been around for a while, but he's doing his best work now. a lot of the female surrealists. Like I was in Mexico City recently, and like Leonora Carrington is a famous female surrealist painter, English painter, who's been kind of rediscovered or reappreciated. I'm just trying to think of the last time I was in a gallery. I went to the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, and I couldn't go in. There were so many tourists there.
Wow.
I just stood outside and looked at the building. I was like, it's tough going to galleries when it's packed. I like going to galleries. I have a friend, Costas does this when he goes to Barcelona, to Picasso Museum, whatever. Like the last 15 minutes, he gave me his tip. It's like,
there's no one there.
Well, everyone's leaving, right? So they say the museum's closing, so everyone's going out. So if you go then, you get to spend time with one of your favorite pieces, like Reina Sofia is a Guernica Picasso piece that I love. Spent some intimate time with that. The Rothko Chapel in Mark Rothko, very famous painter.
Sure.
In Houston. If you ever get the opportunity to go see that and experience that, I got to spend 15, 20 minutes on my own in that one room.
Amazing. When you're on tour, do you actually go, do you do a lot of this stuff?
That's my drug of choice.
Yes, if you want to catch me and go at the last 15 minutes.
Or films, or like, if you can find a cinema now.
If you can find a cinema.
If you can find a cinema.
Yeah.
And if you can find a cinema with showing something you want to see, which is pretty rare now.
What is it film-wise that you've been watching lately?
I went to see She Is Still Here, the Genesis Briar PRH doc that just came out, which is pretty staggering. I think I watched Dune 2 about 3 times. I find that I'm honestly looking at less and less film. Then I'll binge something. I'll binge like Kurosawa or whatever.
Where are you drawing inspiration from now for like new music that you're creating? Because you do find a need to create still. I mean, it's a big part of who you are.
A lot of it goes on in my head. Like I'll put things together.
I mean, it always has, I think.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, a lot of it, I start piecing things together. And once I kind of get something, I feel like it's time to get it down.
Yeah. What do you think your strongest record is lyrically?
Lyrically?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great question, Scott. I don't know. That's subjective.
If
There's things that I like, the things that I've written, I think that's a really good line. Like this song, Kota, Community of the Animals. It was a leftover track from Under the Midnight Sun, which our last album came out in 2022. And there's this track, and the song was never really fully finished. And it kind of sat there, and the label wanted to re-release the record. So I don't know who conceived it. It was our manager, Dino. The idea of dropping a 7-inch with the vinyl, and we had 2 tracks left over. Flesh and Bone was one, which is okay. But Communion of the Animals, which I abbreviate to COTA, had something in it that I just couldn't. The song was perplexing to me, lyrically. I don't know where the lyrics came from.
Does it come to you when you're sleeping? Certain artists,
I don't know where this came.
It
just comes out.
The
words of a godless man, is anybody listening? The vultures tear it all apart. The bones are bleached and glistening.
That's because you read
so those 2 lines
much.
came out, and that hung with me. The profoundness of somebody contemplating aloneness. Because we're all pretty alone, right?
Yeah.
You can be in an intimate relationship, but it's still you.
Sure.
Born on your own, you're going to die on your own.
I will say
it's getting too heavy.
No, I will say the last record
Come on, kids.
The last record is fantastic, because sometimes when you have one of your favorite artists create music, you're like, I wonder if this new music is going to still be relevant, but it's as good as anything you've ever created.
Relevance is, again, subjective.
I know
who
you're
says?
in it.
I mean, who
You're
gets
in
to
it.
say? Where are all these experts? Show me the experts.
Yeah, but I'm also a fan, so I can say that from an outside.
Fan, that is actually a great point. You have your own subjective experience
Correct.
of the work, so you are an expert.
Yeah.
Because you've lived your life. So from your perspective, you know everything there is to know about Scott Lips.
Because the lyrics of like, because even lyrically, I was going to say on the Electric record, like Peace Dog, I like a lot of the underrated cuts, you know, like a lot of the later
Underrated
tracks.
by who? Show me them.
You know, not, you know, I mean, I love Little Devil, but I also love some of the songs that
Underrated by Wikipedia.
I think lyrically they all hit hard for me still. And I think I'm just curious, you know.
They couldn't get past my hat. I mean, we were so objectified as a band, especially with MTV. They couldn't get past the way we looked.
Yeah. Because it was all about that. People were just
They
had to hone in on
about
something.
the way it looked, right?
Yeah.
There's so much about the way it looked, like entertainment.
But that was that time
icons.
period too. That
Yeah.
was also what was going on in life. Yeah.
So, you know.
I had this kid on my show yesterday. I say kid because he's like a glam rocker, but he's like an emo kid. And I
Is he
said
40?
he's like 20 or something. I said to him, you know, when I was in my band in the '87 in New York, the way we used to actually audition people, it's just I wouldn't say, are you good at playing guitar? I'd say, what do you look like? He'd say, I have black hair and tattoos. You're in. You know, I don't even need to see. Can you play? Are you good at all right?
Ask him what kind of hairspray he uses.
We were more part of that Jane's Addiction scene, but it was that Guns N' Roses, you know, that
I've seen
heroin rock.
Scott. Your hair was massive.
It was the heroin rock. We were part of it. Was LA Guns N' Roses, the same.
Your hair was huge then.
It was the heroin rock thing, so that we were doing. So yeah, it was more about
heroin rock.
It's like a thing, right?
I just saw Mike Monroe, by the way, and I just saw him.
I had him on the show. He was so good.
He looks incredible.
But he was so great. We sat down for like 2 hours, and people still love that interview because I don't think he does a lot of things where he gets very vulnerable and talked a lot about New York. And, you know, he lived on the same street as the Hells Angels, and he would tell me stories
That's
about.
Like what, Third?
Yeah.
Is it Third?
Yeah.
I had a friend who lived on that block.
Just his stories are incredible. Like I never sat with him. I knew Sammy Yaffe. I played music with him a little bit back in the day, but I never sat with Michael. Amazing. You saw him play?
Hanoi Rocks, yeah. They're incredible.
Yeah, so good. Underrated. For me, that's an underrated band. That's
no,
a band
they were
that never...
definitely, I think they probably did themselves some disservices.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't play by the rule book,
Right.
whatever the rules were. It's unfortunate they didn't emanate from LA maybe.
Yeah.
I think I saw them in London opening for somebody at the Apollo. I definitely saw them there. In the time machine, yeah.
One of your first gigs was at the Marquee, right?
For performing, Seven Death Cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our fifth gig.
How was that?
It was a drag. It was only like, there's probably about 30 people there and a dog.
And
a guy had a dog in there. And I think Lemmy was actually in there on the gambling machines. They call them fruit machines.
It wasn't the Rainbow.
He was famous for hanging out at like the Marquee and the Ship, which was a pub on Woodall Street where a lot of rockers used to hang out.
Did you know him?
No. I didn't know him until a couple of years later. And he gave me the okay. So I wasn't sure about you, but you're okay. I'm like, I got the seal of approval from Lemmy, so we're doing all right.
And you're bringing back, is there new music coming out for Death Cult in a way?
Death Cult?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But you've worked on some stuff, right? There was some talk of working on new...
There's bones and fragments lying around from different recording sessions. We'll see what happens next. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Because the tour is Death Cult and the Cult.
Yeah.
So you're playing both.
The tour is Paradise Now. Paradise Now was the title of a compiled body of songs we've done around Death Cult, because Death Cult only had maybe 6 songs, maybe 8. So we put a few other songs around it from that period and compiled it as a Paradise Now, the album. And then it was all, the Black Butterfly came.
Who knows what that is?
I can hear somebody coming through. Ozzy?
Someone's knocking.
Is that you?
He might be here.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
But it's interesting though, Ian, because I think early on, just having the word death in front of cult, you just thought there's only so far.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, there's only so far this band's going to go, right?
We're thinking much more in like I have to explain this to people. It's like, you guys in a cult? It's like, no. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's like culture. It's an abbreviation of culture. And don't look too heavily into the name. I mean, if you get confused if you're looking at Soundgardens and Smashing Pumpkins and Blinding Melons, then you think there was like there's a generation of American musicians who grew up who were into agriculture, you know, which is not quite what they were talking about.
Right.
That's not, to me, probably more from Tibetan, from Buddhist perspective, of the idea of talking about death. Again, we know that we can all agree that at some point we drop this body. It's the unfortunate, inconvenient truth of the human experience.
I'm terrified of that,
A
though.
lot of people are.
Yeah.
They're afraid of that moment. But it's, again, like Sogyal Rinpoche talks about, it's what you do with the life part. But you can reverse engineer that knowing that you're going to drop this body one day, right? So from that perspective, death becomes something you can talk about with, you know, comfortably. But it could be a metaphor for many things, you know, quantum, metaphysics, evolutionary, you know, this is where we get beyond the conversation. Yeah. You can't actually articulate. You have to experience it. It's an experience.
I agree. Well, you hear these stories of people that see the light when they pass away. And it always sounds like something I guess I shouldn't be afraid of, but in a way it still terrifies me.
Yeah, I don't know whether that would be. I've had a couple of near-death experiences, so.
You have? Yeah.
Yeah, got hit by a car.
That was early
twice.
On. Yeah. You shouldn't be
Didn't learn
here.
the first time.
And our friend Matt Pinfield, obviously, who I've been seeing
Matt.
a lot of, just had 2 of those, and he's still here. So
Bless
thank
him.
God, you know.
Well, he's obviously around for a reason.
I 100% agree. What was the craziest it got with the call when you said,
What do you mean crazy?
Well, when you said to yourself, like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through personally. You know, it could have been drugs. It could have been
forgetting your name.
Just because you said, you know, you had a few near-death experiences. So you know, were there any points where you said to yourself, we're either going to not make it as a band or personally
not make it through the day.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had all kinds of stuff that people die around us, bus crashes, you know, altercations with law enforcement,
right.
At concerts.
That happened.
It happens. I think it happens to everybody.
Yeah. Less now, I feel, than it used to back in the day.
I think people are maybe a bit more mindful. Security's better for a start.
Yeah. And people want security now. They bring back the day. It's
you know, back in the day, you get something like a local collegiate baseball team's hired as the security because they're all jocks.
Yeah.
So I think that these guys look pretty tasty. They're quite muscular. You know, they should be able to do the job, but they don't have any skill set for the actual, you know, crowd, how to navigate a crowd, and especially when they're amped. And people are jumping over barricades or throwing shit or whatever.
Because I love the fact that you'll just jump in there and you'll fight them.
Not now.
But well, you used to, for sure.
Well,
I remember back in the...
Only if somebody was getting hurt.
Yeah,
I didn't go in there for fun.
No, but I mean, you would protect people, which is admirable because people don't want that.
That's from punk rock. I mean, there's community.
Yeah.
Because we used to always be doing shows. You go to a show and there'd be like, you know, some skinheads come in and start beating everyone up. So it was just a natural, unfortunately, part of the environment. You just stick up for each other.
Yeah.
But I don't fight. I keep out of it. I train martial arts, so I'm not looking to
fight anyone.
No, I don't. No, no. Love. That's the hard. Love is hard.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Love is the hardest. Love is hard. Conflict.
It's not meant to be easy. Love.
Humans are pretty good at conflict. Love, we've got to work on that a bit.
But they say love isn't meant to be easy.
Who said that?
Me.
The guy from Billboard? Was it you?
I think it was me.
Was it Scott Lips? You've been on too many of these, Scott.
I mean, it's not easy.
Magic mind. You've had too much magic mind.
But it's not easy, right? I mean, if it was easy, it wouldn't be so gratifying.
You're going to get all torn up in yourself there.
Yeah. Well, what are you the most proud of when you look back on this incredible body of work? Uncle, your solo work.
Incredible body of work. Bloody hell.
Well, I mean, you know.
It's not over yet.
No, but I'm saying you have such a incredible body of work.
I don't think of it as like that. It's not.
I mean, you've done so much great music. So if you look back on it, you think between Uncle and your solo stuff and Southern Death Cult and the Cults, what are you the most proud of?
I don't really think of it in terms of I don't sit back and
No, I know you don't sit back and think to yourself,
aggrandize,
reflect.
genuflect on like, oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, but you could say, this record for me we were at the pinnacle. Like it really, even the last record.
I tell you what, I'm more tripped out on and get goosebumps is thinking about a goal I scored in a game once. It's like when I used to play a lot of soccer.
Yeah.
Just like when the ball came over my shoulder and I just pinged it, went top left corner, and that was it.
That you think about
a
lot.
Mic drop. I think about that all the time.
Yeah. I
think about stuff like that. Just fragments of stuff. But music, maybe it's because it's 24/7. It's just part of the DNA, I don't know.
Does it still inspire you?
What, music?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I listen to a piece of music. Do you know I've really started listening to a lot is as like Pink Floyd for babies and Beatles for babies or for little ones.
Yeah.
Where they break it down to these really basic components.
That's
so the songs are rearranged and reinterpreted for little ones, and they're staggering. When you hear these things pulled apart, like nothing's going to change my world. Nothing's going to change my world. You used to hear it reduced to like a little xylophone and,
reinvented.
A little flute playing the melody, and you hear it and you go, that is staggering. That's the trade secret there, kids.
It used to be 3 chords, and then it progressed to... Initially, every band only had to learn 3 chords, right? So every song had to be created.
Or like just do 1 chord and stay in the key of like E minor and off you go.
The Ramones, right? Back in the day.
The Ramones did probably only had, 2 chords?
Yeah, that's all they needed. And by the way, the songs are great, so you didn't really need more.
One of the best things I've seen recently was the Berlin... I went to the Berlin Opera House on Unter den Linden recently, like about, I want to say 7 weeks ago, and saw the Berlin Ballet perform to a piece of music that was written by Franz Schubert, his last piece of music. I think he died in 1827. And there's a poem written about the same time, and it's called Winter Journey, Winterreise, and it was staggering. This piece was staggering.
See, I learned something new every time I said
it. It wasn't a gig. It was like this immersive, visceral. I mean, I was in tears watching this thing. The story, as the text was coming up, there was text in German, text in English, and they have it just above the stage. So there's an incredible performance going on from the Berlin Ballet. The choreography was staggering. Aesthetically, it was staggering. Beautiful set. Very austere, monochromatic, grays, blacks. The story of this young man who'd broken up with his lover and finds himself in this existential hell, going through this pain of like losing someone he was madly in love with. And then he's, it's snowing. He has to go through the forest. He's being plagued by crows. It eventually ends up at the grave.
Wow. So
the story is profound.
Sounds beautiful.
It is. It was staggering. Not a dry eye in the house. Now you'd hear somebody go like blown into a handkerchief, or I was sitting next to these 2 ladies who were a little bit older, very dignified, gentrified women, beautifully dressed. And I was sitting next to them. I just had like a hoodie on, and I'd been out, bought some books, plastic bag, hoodie, whatever drip I've gone on, like Die Mühle Meister, some Yoji, whatever, just sitting there, pretty much in street gear. And everyone else is really gentrified. And I'm sitting there next to these women, and they're weeping, and I'm weeping, and it's just, I think it was just that collective human experience.
And a beautiful moment.
After the performance, nobody would leave the area.
Wow.
People were just hanging out. Like you could see people intensely discussing what they just witnessed.
See, I have to hang out with you more so I can grow more.
I could drop everyone into that
yeah.
theater to see that, because it was so unexpected. I was just trying to stay awake that night because I just got to Berlin that night. It was before the first show was the following day. So to try and get my body clock right, I try and find something to do. And it just happened that was happening down the street.
You just sort of stumbled into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
Amazing.
what's on in Berlin tonight? And I found that and I thought that looks interesting. And then when I read the poem where the lyrics pulled from, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I really connected with it. And then when I went through the experience of it, that was staggering.
I wish there was more of that in LA.
There is.
I don't discover it as much. I don't know. I guess
Well,
maybe I'm not hanging out at the right places.
There's LA's got some incredible galleries and performance spaces like Disney Concert Hall. I went to see Johan Johansson there. You know Johan Johansson?
No, but
The
I know the concert hall.
composer. He was performing a solo work called Orphy. He died recently, but that was incredible because he was performing with a quartet, and his parts, they had backing tracks on reel to reel. So with each movement they were playing, he kind of reminds me of Brian Eno type guy. Came out, didn't say anything to the audience, sat down his keyboard, opened the reel to reel, walked over to the tape machine, put it on, turned the spools around. When that started playing, they started playing. When that was finished, stopped, got the reels off, put them in a box, and changed it again. And that was incredible seeing that. Patti Smith's playing there soon. She's playing horses.
I got to have dinner with her not long ago. That was pretty incredible.
She's incredible. She's one of our greatest.
Yeah. I got to ask her a lot about CBGBs. Just I was interested in that time period. Just whatever, like everyone else, I guess.
I'm intrigued by who she is, who she's become as an elder, as the wealth of experience that she's had.
Yeah.
And how rare that is in Western culture, you know.
She's an icon.
She is beyond an icon.
Yeah.
I've loved Patti Smith since the 70s. So
have you ever met her?
I've met her several times, yeah.
Is there anyone you haven't
met?
met?
Her husband.
Anyone you haven't met that you really want to meet, though?
Is
Is there anyone that you like, I really want to meet?
Really want to meet?
That you haven't met yet?
I don't know. I'm not kind of tripping on.
No, but I just mean like a Patti Smith that you're like, I really wish.
An artist? I'd love to meet Matthew Barney. I'd love to sit down with Matthew Barney, discuss his ideas. Certainly Anna Imhoff. I've never met Anna. I'm really interested in the visual artists, what their ideas are, what is behind the work, what motivated them, what experiences they had, what was their life, you know, family of origin, all of that. How did they arrive at these conclusions? Choice of medium. How did they actually make it happen? Because a lot of time you just assume that an artist just throws it together and there's so much goes into it. Layers and layers and layers and layers.
Matthew Barney's great.
Matthew Barney's staggering.
Yeah. I learn a lot from you when I sit with you because I feel like there's so much to learn in this world. And I definitely, every time I see you, I wish I saw you more. But I feel like I see you when I get to see you. It's every time I see you.
We're lucky because we've actually got a bookshop around the corner from our Vermont in Los Feliz. Skylight Books. It's one of the best stock bookshops, curated, incredibly well curated bookshop. So hang out in bookshops.
Yeah, and just read.
They're usually ground zero for me if I go somewhere.
Yeah.
Galleries, bookshops, galleries and bookshops. That's and then occasionally you'll find someone like I was just in Portobello in London, straight to Rough Trade, flicking through vinyl.
Still play a lot of vinyl?
No.
You don't?
But I have it.
Yeah.
I just don't play it. It's on the phone usually.
When you're at home, do you listen to music? Or is it just
usually through headphones. During the day, I like playing frequencies. Depends what's going on.
Okay.
Like different frequencies. Like 417. Just getting a certain space.
Helps you meditate.
The place I really like to listen to music is either in the car or in the dojo.
Yeah, I love the car. And that's what I like about LA. You sit in the car, you listen
to it. So you're driving, you're spending a lot of time in the car. And I've actually got a car that's still got a CD player in it.
Amazing.
Which I love. Because then you can actually consciously choose the music.
Yeah.
But I've got like I think there's 3 stations I flick between NPR, Hip Hop Nation, and maybe like a classical station. You know,
NPR does a great job.
They do.
Yeah.
It's tough what's happening right now with regulations and everything coming in, but I think NPR's, you know, certainly for culture, for music and culture is really important.
Trying to do my own version of Tiny Desk Concert, but maybe it's like a big office or something. Just I think there should be other.
Well, you could go the other extreme, big office space.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that in New York.
Well, I just think there needs to be like another medium because there's only so many outlets. So I feel like people need.
I think immersive, like live immersive. The only way you're going to get to experience it is to come through the door.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of that. We're starting to record a lot of bands in the studio and just different ways for people to discover music because ultimately, everybody has a mission in life. Maybe my mission is just music. You know, fashion was such a big part of my life for so many years. You
could mix the two together.
Oh, I mean, I always have.
I missed that. I missed that when was it VH1 had those fashion and music
fashion
events.
rocks and things like that.
Yeah, I know it's kind of cheesy name, but bringing some of that back.
Yeah, because fashion's always been a huge part of who you are.
And music's always been a huge part of fashion.
Yeah, and I love that Rick Owens. You mentioned Rick Owens. Rick Owens is finally getting such. I mean, he always had incredible
Temple of Love, he
respect.
still got his first major retrospective. He used some cult music a few collections back for the Wolf Sister Moon, just when the war started, when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Oh, yeah. And you also sort of, your music was used for And de Mühlemeister, the show.
And die Mühlemeister.
Yeah. That was cool for you, right?
This is on.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I feel like you and I have a lot of conversations about that because that's something I think you want to explore
I think
more.
the aesthetic's staggering. I was just in Antwerp in her flagship store. It's staggering. Going to the Royal Academy, walking around Antwerp. It's incredible.
Never been there. Gotta go.
I love that city. It's an incredible city.
Are you still working on the clothing line? Is that something you're still doing? And the bag line?
Well, the band demanded so much from me that I just didn't have the bandwidth to do other things like portage. And I was really interested in making packable. So I got into bags, portage.
I remember.
And I was making clothes in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a few pieces out there. Lupe Fiasco was wearing some camo we made, and MIA wore a t-shirt. But now it's on tap.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a clothing line.
They do.
A liquor brand.
But yours would be different.
Brand.
Yours would be different. Just knowing you pretty well.
Well, for now, I'm probably going to start making things just for myself.
And that's it. And so.
Well, the idea of doing anything commercially is just such.
Yeah.
It's a time suck. So many things I want to do to experience. But I think immersive experience is something that we're going to see more of. And cell phones left at the door.
See, I love that for concerts because obviously that's all you want.
Ghost just did it.
Who did it?
Ghost.
Oh, Ghost.
Yeah. They're doing the thing where it's like no phones allowed, period.
Interesting. Well, it probably works well because then you have no choice.
I think once you see that cognition, that the shift in cognition and how we process information without the phone in our lives, it's life as it's meant to be experienced.
Yeah.
Right? Without that digital. I mean, there's so many people checked out at shows from behind the screen. And sometimes I'll just get in somebody's grill and say, "You're missing it." Yeah. Put the phone down. Yeah. Like I'm talking to them and they got the phone in front of them. You know what I mean? The phone is right there. Yeah, and they're looking through the phone at me and I'm like, "Put the phone down. I'm talking to you." Right. I put my hand and like lower the phone, like, "Look, I'm talking to you."
Even the process of music discovery now is so different, right? Because it's
algorithms.
And just the fact that people want to consume songs in like 10-second snippets versus an album.
That's format. That's a format, right? What happens in 15 seconds? What happens in 5 seconds is format. There's so many cultural gurus out there now, self-aggrandized. Yeah. But they usually got some kind of hustle going on with it. Like,
well, it always stems back to something.
They've got Magic Mind side hustle going on.
But it all stems back from ancient teachings anyway. I mean, everything's sort of regurgitated.
Everything
stems back
how you package it, right? Whatever it stems back from. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's a lot to go into, Scott.
No, there's a lot of guys like Jay Shetty was on the show.
Who?
I think Jay Shetty is like this spiritual cultural leader now in
Where's he
pop
at?
culture. He's got his own
What does he
thing
do?
going. He's huge. He's like one of the biggest spirituality, you know. He
What does he
talks a
do?
lot. He's just like a, you know, he's got a podcast.
I'm gonna check him out.
He's on tour all the time. I mean, I think what he, you know, he actually was a monk for a while.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's the real deal. Just again, everything good.
What,
It's
Buddhist?
like, yeah, I mean, but he lived with the monks for years. I mean, even our buddy Nur like lived with.
Well, no,
was-
was legitimately
Yeah.
with the Shaolin.
Yeah. But I think it's just, again, it's like music. It's everything how it's packaged, right? It's like if it's packaged in a
Packages
different way.
everything. I mean, yeah, you can pretty much package anything and sell it.
Definitely. Let's talk for a minute because I know they're all like your babies, but if you and I know this is something it's a little bit outside of the box for you, but if you had your
Do you have a box?
your top 5 like cult songs ever,
I've
because
done.
people love to know what
All
Ian
these
thinks
top
of-
lists are just,
well, just
nonsense.
or your favorite cult songs ever,
I don't
just
know.
to perform. I mean, you have to have
the
some
quiet ones.
the quiet ones. Are there songs that you
Ones
love,
that-
like that you never perform that you wish you would? Because I feel like people love to know like
Yeah, I
which
mean,
are the ones that you.
some of the stuff off the last 4 albums, 5 albums, 6 albums, that we don't play as much of. Like I like songs like Deeply Ordered Chaos and Birds of Paradise, Sound and Fury. Maybe because they're a lot more narrative driven, you know. But then playing stuff from Electric album is way more primal. It's
Yeah.
it's a different experience.
Do you feel a certain obligation when you perform, and people obviously want to come and hear certain songs, but do you feel that, or you don't really care?
Well, I think it's like an unwritten contract with you or an unwritten agreement. If somebody is going to pay their hard-earned dollar to buy a ticket to come see you do an avant, you know, interpretation of yours. Okay, if that's the deal set up, like you say, guys, we're not going to be playing these songs, so
They get upset.
and you're still buying a ticket, then come on in because we've done that before.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Like I said, we're not going to be playing these songs, and people still turn up. It's like, okay, great. But I think there's a certain. I know if I went to see whomever, like I said, I went to see David and he didn't play. I'd take anything. You can play anything. You can play
Let's say only play Tin Machine.
black tie, white noise,
Right.
all the way through, and I'd be happy with that.
You like the avant-garde stuff
That's a
more.
bad example.
Yeah.
That's a bad example. But you know, you go see certain artists, you like want to hear a particular song, you have a special relationship with it. We always make sure when we put a set together that that's in there, it's baked in. But we just choose what we're gonna play.
Yeah, I always tell this story, Ian, because when I would perform with Courtney, she would hate playing doll parts. And people
Well,
would
I understand why.
I know. And people would say to me, "What do you mean?" Like, and she would say, "I fucking hate the song. It's for my drummer." I'm like, "It's not for me. It's because I feel like that's something that people want to hear when they come to see you sometimes."
Yeah, and also your audience, your benefactors. So I respect that. So if we are playing, like Sanctuary is an evergreen song. I have no idea how that song rejuvenates itself every time we play it. It feels fresh.
I mean, but it's so incredible. So that's why
Is it a
it's
certain
always-
frequency? I think it's the frequency that's certain euphoria built into it. It's like an archetypal euphoric experience.
It's just tapped in.
It's just there. Yeah, it's tapped in.
Yeah.
That's coming out again. Spinal Tap 2.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I
didn't see the trailer. I keep meaning to watch the
to
trailer
go
again.
to
but
11.
It's my favorite movie ever. But people that I feel like if you're not a musician, it's a little bit harder to understand it because all those things happen to musicians. Like we get lost trying to find the stage. We've been to
It
those
still
shows when the
happens.
sandwiches don't fit the bread, and
It still happens.
It
The
still
sandwiches don't
happens,
fit the bread.
yeah.
They don't.
I don't know. I still get lost now when I'm backstage. I'm trying to find the stage for whatever.
Trying to find the building.
I can't find anything. That could be a me thing, but I do feel like it's. I don't know. It hits harder when you are in the bands.
No, I mean,
We've all lived those moments. Playing for 3 people.
oh yeah.
I played once at the
Definitely.
Metro in Chicago before the club was open, and I was like, "Why would you put us on before you were open?" It was just the bartender. I'm like, "We drove like 16 hours. Like
You
don't-
drove 16 hours and they put you on before the club
before
even
the club
opened?
was open." I mean, that's weird. Like,
That is weird.
Why would you do that? But we've all had those weird moments, right? So it's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. What was the weird? Any weird? I'm sure you have 1,000 of those,
I think
like the Stonehenge
One of the-
moments.
One of the weirdest ones was that there's this massive beer company. I don't want to say who they are because I might get it wrong. And did this thing called Blind Date.
You did?
No, there was like on radio, it was a competition. It was Blind Date with, it's a blind date. You don't know. So whoever won the competition, it's this club, this time, you win the blind date, and people are in the club, they don't know who's going to come out. And then I think it was like maybe Chicago, and they come out and it's you, right? So we did this thing, there's a blind date, radio station, they come out and like, 2/3 of the audience walked out.
Not good.
It was like, oh.
We thought it was going to be Christina Aguilera.
But then that turned into an amazing show.
Yeah.
For the people that stayed because they really wanted to be there.
That's amazing.
Which was incredible.
I don't know. That's a strange idea because, for the people that want to discover music, but for the people that are set on seeing whoever, it feels like that's a gamble.
I love that you've got the choice, that you can actually walk out of something like that. There's, places on the planet that get a concert maybe once every 10 years.
Totally. Would you do that again, though? If someone asked you to do
blind date?
Yeah.
God, no.
I don't know if I'd do that.
I don't think I could handle the rejection. You really beat yourself up about that. I think you need a lot of therapy over that.
What are your favorite films ever?
Favorite films? Oh, wow.
Because I know you're so into cinema. We talked about it a little bit.
Favorite films? I love the new Dune movies, Denis Villeneuve's films.
Apocalypse Now, maybe?
Apocalypse Now, yeah, for sure. That was a big deal, seeing that. I still watch it occasionally. A lot of reference material. A lot of the inspiration that went into Apocalypse Now, where he drew things from, like T.S. Eliot or whatever.
Obviously.
Having read the book as well, which is a novella, Heart of Darkness, reading the original and then watching the film, revisiting the film. I've got the original John Milius script, which is slightly different. We actually worked with a photographer called Tim Page. Tim Page, the character of Dennis Hopper's, the photographer character.
Amazing.
Was based on an amalgamation of photographers, but this one particular one was this English guy called Tim Page. He was pretty reckless, and he was in Vietnam, and he was kind of based, the character was kind of based on Tim Page because he had a reputation for getting himself into some very, very dangerous situations. But that was interesting. But Tim Page, the photograph on the cover of Death Cult's first EP is Tim Page photograph.
Wow.
I mean, we were into that aesthetically. Yeah. But then as you get older and you think about the concept of war and how, because I don't feel that Apocalypse Now romanticized war. I mean, as Kurt says, the horror of it, or humanity. It just stays with you. Probably that, Kurosawa, Kubrick, like Kurosawa, Seven Samurai. I love that film. Throne of Blood. There's a great film with Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr called The Magic Christian. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, I got to watch that.
It's like a satirical, comedic.
Sounds cool.
It's hysterical.
Ringo Starr and Peter Sellers.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
You spent some time in the Doors, obviously. You did more shows with the Doors than Morrison, which is...
No, probably about the same.
I thought you did like 150 or something.
I think that's about what he did.
Which is still...
That's about what they played.
Still pretty incredible.
I remember being with Manzarek in Europe, and he goes, "This reminds me of the European tour in '68. I said, "How many shows did you do?" And he goes, 6. I was like, 6?
Something happened.
6? Jim didn't even turn up to one of them.
So was that movie a big deal for you?
The Doors film?
Yeah, I mean, I know you had a history, obviously, with the whole thing. There's a lot of history
More
there.
from the perspective that Floyd Westerman, who was a Native American actor and activist, played the shaman, Morrison's shaman on his vision journey in the film. He's also in Dances with Wolves. And Floyd was somebody I met in real life, who was a mentor in real life. but he played a fictional mentor in the Doors movie. So it was quite surreal in that way. And I was sitting next to a friend who became a friend who I met that day, who was a Native American, Zahn McLaren, pretty famous actor now and incredible human being, a very close friend. We bumped into each other in line getting tickets. I think it was the first day it was on. I didn't go to the premiere or anything. I went to the party, but not the premiere. And I was standing next to Zahn. And then when we got in the Cinerama, is it Cinerama Dome?
Yeah.
Netflix, somebody please buy it.
I thought someone bought it. I thought
hopefully they're going to reopen
Quentin
it.
Tarantino bought it.
I hope Tarantino
I
bought
thought
it.
he did. I could be wrong.
But anyway, Zahn was there, and I ended up sitting next to Zahn, and we became very close friends. So sitting there next to Zahn, who's indigenous American, watching this actor, shaman, Floyd Westerman. It was kind of strange life imitating art, because these people were really in my life.
Yeah.
And then indirectly later the Doors.
Living it.
Because that was a 12-year audition for me. It was like 12 years
You
of
kind of
conversations.
manifested it, I think, in a way.
I don't know.
I feel like you...
When they were ready to do it, they were ready to do it. When Ray and Robbie and John, I think at the time, wanted to do it, they knew they were getting old and they wanted to do it one more time. So, I mean, I feel blessed to have been, you know.
I had Stewart Copeland on the show, and I know he did a couple of gigs with you.
Stewart did 5.
Yeah.
I think Ray had him, there's maybe
Doing
a bit
jive
of friction there, drummer thing, I don't know.
Something happened.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll leave that with Ray.
I didn't talk to Stewart too much about it, but we touched base on it for a second.
Yeah, I think he did 5 shows.
Yeah.
I do think there was a point when maybe we were doing an interview. So you got Ray and Robbie, you got Stewart, you got me. And it's very early on. That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So journalists, it's press conference, journalists asking questions. And I'm just sitting there. I'm respecting the space.
Right.
Like
Not talking.
No, not talking, unless directly asked question. I think Stewart, somebody was asking Ray a question, Stewart goes, I've got this. And it was like the point where I just looked at my shoes and went, maybe not, you know.
John Densmore was so good. A lot of those, even we were talking about Bill Ward. I mean, so many of those drummers from the 70s were so incredible. I mean, I feel like they had so much personality in their drumming.
Exactly.
And,
that's something that unfortunately doesn't get enough airtime, talk time, is the importance of drummers and rhythm sections within bands.
Jimmy Chamberlin, John Bonham,
Yeah.
Charlie Watts, Ringo Starr, right? And it's all about, without a great drummer, you don't have a good band.
No.
I don't think.
Well, it's that integration.
You have one of the most solid drummers around, Johnny.
We do.
Who's an incredible drummer, yeah.
Johnny's great with Charlie Jones.
Yeah.
The way they integrate.
Charlie played with Robert Plant.
Yeah.
So there's a
Charlie played with Robert Plant.
lineage
Plant
there.
Page.
Yep.
We also played with why am I blanking? Goldfrapp for 20 years.
Yeah.
And he worked with Susie Sue and many other artists. He's got his own project called Captain Francisco, which is incredible. Avant project. He's incredibly talented, Charlie.
How's your relationship with Billy these days? Another friend who I don't get to see that often.
It's like, we're like family.
Yeah. After so many years.
Yeah.
Such a great guy, amazing guitar player. I wish I get to see him.
He's incredibly gifted.
Yeah.
I mean,
but after so many
years, it becomes a different animal
family.
when he plugs in, especially when he's plugged in the garage.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
That's it.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
And we're in it. And we're not thinking about it. We're just in it. That's when you know it's a good show, is when you're so lost in it. You're not thinking about anything. You're not thinking about like, oh, that's interesting. That person's blue shirt in the 3rd tier of the,
Right.
Oh, look, there's Joey, you know?
I think the best shows are when it's almost like an out of body experience. I'm sure you have that all the time when you're sort of
That body experiences, I'm having one now.
But also when you're playing, right? Because for me, whenever, I never got to play, a billionth in the amount of shows you played, but those are always the best shows I have when I play, when I just subconsciously I'm there, but I'm not like I'm in the moment.
You're just so in it. You're in the moment, right? People come and say, well, what was it like? It must have been amazing. I go, it happened. And that's it.
Yeah.
It happened.
Exactly.
Did you participate in the moment? That's why the phone is like, I know that when generation gets to be a certain age, they're going to go, I wish if somebody gave them the hours back on the phone, probably about half the life.
Definitely. Is it one show in your head that just sticks out? Like I was in it and this was the best show that I can ever recall playing in the Cult, or any band for that matter.
I mean, the Cult's had some transcendent shows over the years. We just had an amazing show at the Royal Albert Hall in London in 24. It was like November 24. That show was staggering. The Doors, when the Doors 21st Century played at Soccer Stadium in Buenos Aires.
Pretty amazing.
That was staggering. There was probably like 50,000 plus. And fires started in the stadium.
Wow.
Jumped up and down so much, they broke the foundations of the stadium. There was a riot. There was an eclipse. Dogs went in, fire department went in. They had this roped off VIP section that got trashed immediately. Everything that wasn't nailed down got thrown on stage.
Wow.
Remember Robbie looking at me?
And there's
like this huge piece of wood, I don't know where it came from, light came flying on the stage. And he's looking at me. I said, just keep playing. Just keep playing. Manzarek's got his head down. He's just doing what Ray does, just
right. Head down.
doing a head bob.
Yeah.
And when he's in that space, you're just in the zone.
Although they had a lot of chaotic moments with Jim in the band too, but
of course,
but it was different. It was,
I think it's inherent in the text of the music.
Yeah.
Because once being in that, from that perspective of playing with them, a lot of what went down energetically was from Ray. I mean, he was kind of conducting certain moods, modes, frequencies. They set Jim up on the high wire, and they just hold it down.
Yeah.
I call it parking the bus. Like when a band parks a bus like that and everyone's locked, then things can get really interesting.
Yeah. You've had a lot of those moments.
Yeah, if you can park the bus as a band. Death Cult's like that. Because Death Cult is kind of under-rehearsed. I mean...
Only 6 songs initially, so yeah.
Well, now it's down. We started playing things like Resurrection Joe and Spirit Walker, things that were closer to it. Because Resurrection Joe was never on a record.
The Spirit Walker is a Cult song.
Yeah, but it was kind of conceived. It was actually conceived in Some Death Cult. That's one of the reasons I went on from Some Death Cult, was because I had the bass line of 3 chords, and they didn't want to do it. So I thought, okay, I'll take my song and I'll go somewhere else, which I did.
Is there new Cult music on the way, possibly?
Possibly. I don't know. It depends.
I mean, do you have time to write when you're on the road, or not really? You have to wait till you're off the road. And
usually something comes through, I'll throw it straight on the phone. Like usually chord progression, a melody, a lyric, a line, whatever. I usually write every day. I carry a notebook around with me all the time, always writing. The phone is actually really good. One of the things it's really good for is voice notes and photographs, like visual references.
Yeah.
Because eventually I'll start compiling visual references, which really helps. And it's not so much like you're doing something, it's just things that I connect with that are already there that maybe draw something out.
It's amazing to me because I have so many artists on the show, Ian, and so many artists come to me and say, like, my favorite band of all time, my favorite singer is Ian. It always makes me proud because I've sent you some of those clips.
I know.
And you're probably like, I don't need to hear this again. But like, I like to share it because I feel, I don't know. I feel, especially when I'm friends with people, I feel like it's a nice thing to acknowledge, because it's, you go through life, you don't always hear that. I'm sure you hear it when you hear it, but it's still, I don't know. I would still find it.
I've never been comfortable with the objectified part of doing the thing. Never felt comfortable with that.
Yeah, because fame is something that I guess it's an interesting thing.
It's more the objectification,
right? The
assumption that you're a certain way. Like the amount of pretense I get thrown at me, pretentious. This guy's pretentious.
But when it's genuine,
like, what does that mean?
When it's genuine, it's a different thing.
Maybe you didn't live that experience, but that was what happened with me. So, with all respect, that's what went down. And I do come from a humble background, so nobody gave me anything. I mean, this band, any marks we hit, we worked for it. We put the grease in. We did the time.
10,000 hours.
We did the 10,000 hours. I mean, we're on the back end of 75 shows over the last year, 75. And the year before that, I think we did about 60, whatever.
No slowing down.
No, there's definitely going to be some slowing down.
Yeah.
That's usually when you're in a period where it's possible for something to come up.
We also have a family now. So, I mean,
I've had a family, yeah.
I mean, when you have a son, it's probably harder to leave him and go on the road.
It is. It's really hard to be away from family. And
because he's not yet 2, so it feels like it's hard. It's hard
being away from the little dude.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to bring him out because they wear the headphones.
It's too much chaos.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
I mean,
has he seen you play at all?
No.
No.
But he's walked on one stage.
Okay.
He came to investigate.
On his own.
No, I brought him out.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Billy made a comment, something like, "Oh, that's something you don't see too often, 2 Astburys at a sound check." I just laughed at him. I'm like, man, that's Billy though. That's his that's his sense of humor.
Yeah.
But he's from Manchester. I can't imagine being in a band with a lot of Mancunians.
Yeah. Well, you're playing in New York soon. You're playing, I think, in October, maybe?
Beacon.
Yeah. That'll be great. I'll be there.
That's bougie, isn't it? The Beacon.
Put me on the guest list. I'll be there. Even though I would buy a ticket.
You've got connects. What are you talking about?
I'd buy a ticket anyway.
You've got connects. You're way more connected in New York than...
I'll still
I
be there.
have to call my friends and say, I never go in. I don't like asking friends for guest lists.
Yeah, I know.
We'll take care.
I mean, I don't mind just because I don't like to
I
get
love
the
you
shitty
asking
seats,
me, like,
but
you put me on the spot on your show.
I don't like the shitty seats, so you gotta.
The shitty seats.
Sometimes if you buy a ticket, you don't get a great seat.
Where would you like to sit?
Anywhere.
I want to make sure
anywhere it's.
What temperature would you like the seat?
It's funny because I'm sure, like, only in New York and LA, like, people hit you up, and in different cities around the country, you get less of that. But New York and LA, it's like you hear from people after 20 years you haven't heard from.
It's weird.
Hey, Ian, I haven't spoken to you in 20 years. I know you're playing at the Greek Theater. Can I get it?
Usually it goes down like that.
Yeah, I haven't spoke to you in 20 years.
Yeah. Well, they don't usually say that. I've been thinking about you recently.
Yeah. And then you have a show next
week.
That?
Oh, yeah, we just announced the tour. Yeah. Right, of course you have.
Yeah. God.
You got the email.
Well, I'll be at the show.
You're always, your family, you don't.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm happy to do this. I'd like to see more, so we should do that. I mean, not on camera. We can do the off camera. We had dinner last time. It was great. So we'll do that again. We'll do more of that.
We did.
Sure.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
We've been slammed. Death Cult. We weren't expecting Death Cult to make the impact it made, not only in culture, but for the band, for us, for what it did for the cult as well. It was like we tapped into our own DNA.
Restarting.
You know what PRP is?
Yeah, of course.
Plasma replacement.
Blood. Yep.
So when you take the blood out, they put it
back in, spiraling,
what do they call them? So they spin the blood and then they re-inject it back into you.
They say it's good for you. I don't know.
It accelerates healing because I tore my Achilles in 2 places. I got PRP in that. That's what Death Cult's like for the cult.
Reinvigoration.
It's like PRP. Yeah. It's like plasma replacement. We kind of went back and reconnected with who we are, our DNA.
So the set list is like 8 songs, Death Cult, and the rest is the cult.
We're TBD right now. We're working it out. We're working out what the show's going to be like because the venues are all different. So we're working out what kind of production we can bring in.
It's hard to pick a set list.
Because we want to have some visual elements. Or maybe we won't be able to do visual elements. Because production costs now, it costs a fortune to put on a show. Like everything's gone up. You can't get buses, you can't get flights, you can't get hotels.
People don't understand the economics of touring now. I had a band on not long ago, and we were chatting. I said, it's really difficult to tour now. They said, what are you talking about? I said, well, you can do it in a station wagon, but like, you want to tour at any level, it's so expensive. Buses are $30,000 a day, 50. I don't know. They're expensive.
Well, that's it. I mean, the bus companies realized that they were so in demand that they could name the price. Name the price. Insane. I mean, last tour we did in Europe, I don't think we had a bus until 12 days before the tour.
It's crazy. You can't get buses.
You can't get them, and people are booking like into 26, 27 now.
Crazy. And sometimes you don't know there's a tour coming up like 3 years ahead of time.
To get the infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for your tour. I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to sit with you now. It's always
I
nice.
love it because I never look at you with a straight face.
Why?
Because I know that you know. Because it's you. It's that image of you when you're like with the hair and.
That was 87, Ian.
There was no night in the 20th century was a conspiracy theory. It never happened.
Yeah. It's, it's a time in my life I'm really proud of, but I actually do look back on it with very fond memories.
Wait till the AI wait till you get going with AI, man. You could bring that hair back.
You were saying that you would put one of your records through an AI blender and redo it, which I heard you say something like that.
No, I was talking about potentially
how you could do that. It could be done. Or you'd like to hear it.
Like monkey around with it.
Yeah. Which I think would be pretty cool. I mean, I don't believe in fighting technology. I believe in
you can't.
How do you live with it? Because look at what the streaming services
just unplug everything.
Yeah. But you've always been ahead of the curve, so that makes sense. So
AI's, wow, that's fascinating. The more I read about it,
I use it every day. It's scary, but it's also. I mean,
so you got your questions from?
No, just to design flyers. We're doing a concert series in New York to design the flyers. just because I referenced the Haight-Ashbury posters and San Francisco poker. You put that in. You put Haight-Ashbury concert posters. Here's the bands playing. It spits it out. You're
doing that.
Well, I can't.
You're putting graphic arts. I
can't design it myself. So it's what happens. I mean, you got to utilize it versus fighting it. So I'm like, let's figure out a way to live with it.
I think it's used. It should come with small print.
Yeah.
Use it your own.
Well, the scary thing is when you watch these bands, I think there's this band Velvet Sundown. That's an AI band. I had 500,000 streams after a week. And then
is it any good?
People found, it sounds like the Eagles or some 70s. I don't know, good is subjective, but it's not good. It's not terrible. But if you didn't know, you would think it sounds like a real band, but the song quality is not, it doesn't have the personality, but it's decent middle of the road 70s, Eagles rock. But it's scary because where is that going to be in a year, right? People won't even know the difference.
There's too much.
Yeah. But the live experience won't go away, thank God. And that's where people are consuming music. I mean, hopefully that's where rock is.
We just did a few festivals around Europe and they were packed.
Right. I mean, the Cult is.
Tens of thousands
bigger
of
than
people,
ever.
if not hundreds of thousands of people going to things like Hellfest, which is really a mixed bag of guitar, bass music. People still want to gather, come together and have that collective experience.
And rock is still, Oasis is playing in front of 80,000 people, so rock's
they're printing. They're probably keeping the economy going in the UK right now.
That's what I mean.
The local economies are exploding.
It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Well, go see the Cult and go see the Cult live.
We're not that band. I mean, we never got to play. I think we played a couple of stadiums in our time, but
if people want to see one of the better rock shows, for me, go see the Cult.
We chose the hard path. Well, it's probably more me. After it was getting much more people coming in the room, and I was like, nah, that's not right for us. That's, at least for me anyway. It didn't feel right. So we chose the road less traveled.
Still worked for you.
It's
the harder road.
It's been hard at times. It's been really, really brutal at times. Yeah.
When I hear, I can take the accolade for you because I don't mind it. So
you can have it. You can have it if you want.
I like to hear it. So.
I used to say all our trophies are in other people's trophy cabinets, but that's that's just being bitter, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
I'm happy to see you.
I'm very happy to see you, Scott.
We'll do this again because
you know
the third or fourth time.
Did you go through everything?
We probably forgot a lot of notes. I just throw them out the window when I'm talking to you because I can't. Too many notes and too many things going on. So
what sneakers are those?
Throw the notes out the window.
Oh, Golden Goose.
Yeah, they made me one with the podcast on the back. So it says lip service on the back. So they make custom sneakers. So respect.
I'm wearing Margielas.
You're always ahead of the curve.
This Margielas you've been going since.
Just meaning you always have great style. Style is so. It's so.
This is what was on the. It wasn't on the floor, but it was just what am I going to wear? Scott's podcast. Just what was there.
Yeah. I wore this in honor of just your love of the Dolls.
David Johansen. Yeah, he was in. We were in Buenos Aires when he passed.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sad. He was incredible.
I think
Johnny Thunders. Went to see Johnny Thunders with Billy. It's one of our early excursions. I've actually got a jacket that my friend Costas Sarametis gave me. It's a Vietnam tour jacket. The soldiers used to bring them back. It was Johnny Thunders.
Amazing.
I have that in my collection.
I feel like I played one of the last
stuff.
gigs with him, and he was at that point he was so out of it. It was
Was
so
it the
sad.
Cat Club?
It was at a place called White Trash A Go-Go here on
White Trash Go-Go with Dale Gloria's club?
And it was one of the last gigs. I think it's one of the last gigs we played. We opened up for him, and I was like, he was so... I didn't really understand enough about who he was at that point. I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
But I still wish I did because, you know, I would have definitely... but he was so
There's
gone.
still incredible icons out there right now. I mean, like Patty's still playing. Swans are playing. Do you like Swans?
Yeah, I like Swans.
I love Swans. I think Michael Girard's he's a hero. It's incredible.
Anyone
Sun.
that Ian says to listen to,
Sun.
to.
You must experience Sun in your lifetime.
Sun.
You ever been to see Sun?
No.
You've experienced Sun?
No, I mean, I don't think so.
Some people refer to them as Sun O, which is the echo sound.
Huh.
SUNN. They just played the Lincoln Center in New York.
I'll check them out.
I think they're playing in... they always play in the Avant spaces. They don't play in the normal circuit.
SUNN.
Although they did play Hellfest the day before us. We played the same day as the Sex Pistols. We just played with Kraftwerk.
Oh, that's awesome.
How bizarre is that?
That's great.
So we played Death Cult. We go play with Kraftwerk and New Order and like Nick Cave and Public Image. And then Cult, you're flipping over to like, we're playing with Prodigy, we're playing with like High Long. High Long are incredible. The Sex Pistols played the same day.
Have you seen Frank Carter in the band?
No, I haven't.
Seems good to me. I mean,
I didn't seem too certain about that.
I mean, no, it seems good. I haven't seen him live.
I don't know. I want to see it.
Yeah. I know you're friends with Jonesy. I like Jonesy.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see it. I don't know if they're coming through LA.
I think so. Oh, they're playing in New York. We're actually going to see him. We're doing CBGB's festival. We're covering that festival. So
CBGB's festival?
Yeah, it's Iggy, Jack White, Sex Pistols.
What?
Cro-Mags. Yeah, a bunch of great bands.
Sid Vicious did play CBGB's, didn't he?
I think so.
When we did the Edie video, we shot the Chelsea Hotel and we shot in the Nancy Sponge and Sid Vicious room.
That's crazy. That hotel has so much
That's in the
history.
video. And we shot CBGB's and it's in the video.
Well, yeah, they're doing the CBGB's festival. So
who's they?
under the book.
I want to know who they are.
I think it's the people that put on the Bowery Presents.
Condé Nast.
No, it's the people that put on the Bowery Presents. Maybe Barbados. I was asking the other day if he has like a little bit of a part in it. I'm not quite sure if he does.
Who is they?
It's this company that called the Bowery Presents. They own the Bowery
I know
Ballroom.
Bowery Presents.
So yeah,
They're
they're the
excellent.
ones
They're
behind
legends.
this. Yeah.
We usually work
We'll
with
be
Bowery
there.
Presents and I don't know who's doing the show in I should know.
Well, last time I saw Iggy, he spit on me, so I'm looking forward to that.
Why do you do that?
He just spits on the audience. I don't think he spit on me personally.
He doesn't spit on the audience, does he?
I was there. He definitely was like, you know,
No.
he wasn't looking to spit on me, but he just does his thing.
I spit on the floor.
Yeah. Well,
Because I'm lactose intolerant. So sometimes I make the mistake of having milk like 3 or 4 hours before a show. And then I get that phlegm. People think I'm just being vulgar or attitude, bad attitudes. Like, no, I'm clearing phlegm from lactose.
This wasn't that. This was like...
No, that was the other. That was the punk,
something else.
the
that
punk
he was
rock
doing.
version.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I remember seeing The Clash when everybody in the crowd was spitting on them.
Wow.
And Strummer's just like, look, just stop. Stop.
I would walk off stage.
I think he got hepatitis.
I would not stay on stage if that was happening.
Do you remember going to shows when everyone used to just spit?
No, I never saw that. I mean,
You never saw that?
Even I've had so many bands on that people
insane bottles.
Yeah, I was gonna say bottles of piss. Like I would
That's Glasgow.
I would get off the stage.
Are you kidding?
Like,
That was in Glasgow. That was in the day they used to do that.
Yeah.
And other things.
I would not be there for that.
Just fill up a vessel of whatever bodily fluid and just chuck it. Why do you do that? You've paid to go see this band play.
I was chatting with one of the artists at Warped Tour yesterday, and she said, "There's this new artist they're going beyond Gigi Allen." I'm like, "Beyond Gigi Allen?
There is no beyond Gigi Allen.
What does that mean? There is no. Yeah, what is?
There is
I
no
don't know what
beyond
that
Gigi
means,
Allen.
but I don't want to go to that show, and I don't want to even. I was like, "Who's the
No.
artist?" She couldn't remember who the name was, but yeah.
Call a hazmat unit.
I don't know. I'm not. I will not be at that show.
These guys don't know who Gigi Allen is.
I don't know.
Do you know who Gigi Allen is? Okay. Did you do some research on Gigi Allen?
Yeah, one of the artists named Puzzle Panther. That was we did a show.
Puzzle
with
Panther?
part of Gogo Bordello, who you probably know.
Gogo Bordello, yeah, for
so,
sure.
So it's part of Puzzle Panther is part of Gogo Bordello.
That's
it's an
dope.
offshoot of Eugene's band, and so she was just telling us, and she's like, yeah, there's this new Juicy out. And I'm like, again, I was like, I don't know what that means, but I probably won't see that show.
I like Death by Romy. She's cool.
Yeah, she's cool. She's hopefully coming on the podcast. We were chatting today.
Earth Eater. Oh, she should definitely be on the podcast.
We were chatting today.
Earth Eater.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Again, anyone who Ian lists, they're going to make it, because Ethel Cain. I don't know if you know Bad Nerves, but they're my favorite new band out there. Bad Nerves. Check them out.
Bad Nerves.
Now I'm turning you on to a band. They're kind of like the Ramones 2025, like great songs.
Do they have the same haircuts?
They what?
They all have the same haircut?
They look kind of like, 2025 Ramones-ish.
You know, I'm going to pull your chains. I'm going to be like...
They're good. They're real good. I think they're one of the best bands out there right now, Bad Nerves.
It's weird now because I kind of find myself like listening to fragments of things. And if I really like it, I'll go on a deep dive. You know what I mean? Like, especially with playlists, you find yourself like a certain artist and then you're in their world, like a krautrock. I just use something, for example, like Amon Duel, krautrock band. And then you find yourself like some psychedelic band from Laos, or from Indonesia from like 1973.
Rabbit holes.
And they released like, an EP, stuff like that, or contemporary stuff. There's so many DJs now. There's so many collabs going on.
Yeah. No, the collabs are cool. I love collabs. I mean, the Uncle stuff you did was amazing back in the day.
I'd love to do more with James Lavelle. I think he's incredibly underrated. I wish I had a list for you, just go through everything, but that's not, I don't really. Maybe if you're a journalist or something, you're spending more time documenting.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it's much more. It's like grabbing snacks.
You mean you didn't make your top 5? You didn't prepare your top 5?
I have no top 5.
Yeah, like Ian's not going to like these top 5.
I don't have a top 5.
The engagement is interesting when people just engage with stuff, and some of the most interesting things, people don't engage unless it's like packaged for them. I mean, and so it's a sad, I guess, commentary on where we are in life. But I mean, sometimes I put things out there. I'm like, this is like the most interesting thing I think I've ever spoken about, and it doesn't get like a quarter of like people engaging in it, because people like to have everything in a bow, and so it feels weird. But that's the world we're living in a way, right? Like you need certain things for the show to progress and for the audience to progress, and so engagement is important.
There's only so much information you retain, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't read as much as you do, so you read a lot. You read, how many books do you read a month, would you say?
I don't sit down and read. I read fragments. And if it's something that really grabs me, I'll read the whole thing. Like I'll jump around. Like under my bed is just piles of books.
Right. I mean, I
just imagine. Reach under the bed. Like I'm reading manga right now. Like we're looking at Akira. You ever seen Akira the movie?
I know Akira the artist.
Akira the movie.
Oh.
Not that. It's a Japanese anime science fiction film. Staggering. Never seen it?
That's going to be on my list. No,
it's got to be on your list. It's got to be on everybody's list.
Yeah.
Akira's staggering.
That could have been your top films, one of your top films.
It definitely would be in my top 1,000 films.
1,000.
I mean, I love things like Aguirre, Wrath of God. I mean, what's his name? Like Herzog, Fassbender. I mean, there's so much stuff. It's too much.
So much.
It's too much.
It is
then you just sit. Then you do sound like being pretentious. I like everything by Bellatar.
But it's not
except
pretentious.
For the Touring Horse.
It's who you really are. So it's not pretentious. When you know you, it's really who you are. So.
I love it when Bowie got asked about being pretentious. I think it was on a British TV show. He said, Russell Harty maybe said about, or Michael Parkinson asked Bowie about being pretentious, said, "Oh, darling, I've always been pretentious." Tongue firmly in cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it'd be nice for the Colts to get a break at some point.
Well, do you see that happening at some point or no?
No. We're too outside now.
Yeah.
Outliers. They only let you in if you're like, 20 years old.
Yeah. Well, it's an inspiring show. So, I mean, I know for you.
Your show?
Your show.
Your show's inspiring.
Your show's inspiring.
Look, you've gone.
Between two ferns.
Look.
Your show's inspiring.
You've gone to great expense.
Well, I didn't pick out these plants. They were just here. So
This is like the remnants of Hollywood. This neighborhood. This you wouldn't even think this could be in New York.
Yeah, it could be.
It feels like New York.
It does. It does. Such a pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
My bro.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Man.
Appreciate you.
Scott.
Appreciate
always.
you.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.